Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Ruby Cordova. The pandemic has changed how colleges and universities operate in drastic ways. Many classes moved online and many students re-examined their plans. According to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, there's been a 5.1% decrease in enrollment at U.S. colleges over the last 2 years. One reason behind the drop, some prospective or current students started to ask, is college really worth it? According to My Student Voices, 33% of college graduates do not have a job in their field, and in 2020, Admissionly says the undergraduate dropout rate was 40%. Today on Point, we'll hear from CSUN's admissions office. We'll also hear from several students. One who dropped out of college to join the working community, a grad student who often questions the value of college, and an undergrad who has to make a 3-hour daily commute to class. On Point's Jonathan Greenstein has more.
Thank you, Ruby. I am here with 3 guests today. Director of Admissions, Aaron Lindberg for CSUN. And I am here with Anthony Mata. He's a former college student. I'm also here with Brenna White, who is a senior student at CSUN. And we're going to be talking about college admissions today, enrollment and college life. Why is it worth it? Why would you want to go to college? And yes, thank you, everyone. And we're going to be introducing a student who goes to CSUN. Her name is Valerie Patterson. She's going to be talking about a degree.
I think the most beneficial thing someone can do is work in the field they want while they're in school, if they can, because then you're already making your connections. If you need your degree, if you don't even need your degree, it's kind of like why. A lot of people I know are working in television production. They work. I know this guy who was working on sports. He would go to sports games and he would work, do technical things over there. And everybody he worked with said, you don't need a degree. I don't even know why you're going to college right now.
Okay, my first question is going to be for Brenna. Do you think college is more beneficial than the real life working world? Do you think you need to go to college?
Do I think you need to go to college? No. I have my best friend, he straight out of high school was able to get a job, and now he works full-time at a company called Roland, and that's been a big thing. I'm so sorry about my dog. But I don't think that you need college to be successful. I think that if you're able to directly get a job right after you graduate, I think that's a great thing. But if you end up choosing to go to college, I also think that that's a great thing too. But I don't think it's necessary.
Anything on that, Anthony? Do you have any opinions on that?
I do agree with her. College isn't really necessary in this modern era, because I know a lot of people with college degrees who are stuck working in 9 to 5 at retail or a Starbucks or something, and I just feel you don't really need one to succeed in nowadays, because there's a lot of people who made it successful without a college degree.
Aaron, do you have an opinion on that as well?
Well, probably as a college director of admissions, my perspective is a little different. Mm-hmm. And I will agree, when I was 18 to 21, I didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, and certainly didn't think I was going to be the director of admissions for Cal State Northridge. For some students, I think that college helps them define or develop the path that they want to go on to. And so for those students who maybe don't know, they struggle with kind of determining what they want to do, college can help obviously transform their lives. Right now in COVID, I think we're encountering a very interesting perspective where, if I was a student and I had the opportunity to work full time and a company was going to give me a very substantial bonus, and we were in the midst of inflation and rising gas prices compared to going to school, I can understand some of our students' choices. But I do still see, obviously, the value of a college education, or else I would not be in the field that I'm in.
Thank you. Also, Aaron, this is a question for you as well. Since COVID and online learning has been a new normal, has the enrollment rate really gone down significantly since 2019?
Well, I think we have to look at a couple different things. Is one, it would be applications rate, which is from 2020, fall of 2020, we received a total of 49,000 undergraduate applications. Now, the following year, 2021, there was an 11% decline in overall undergraduate applications. And so we received 43,600 approximately. Now, this year, second year into COVID, as we're going into fall 2022 admissions, still a very small decline of only 3%. So we're down to 42,200. So obviously that first year was the biggest impact. But there are multiple things at play when you come discuss college applications, admission, and then enrollment. Did you want to have me go a little further on that?
If you want to, sure.
So one thing that is really important for everyone to understand is that at a national level, we are experiencing what is called the demographic cliff, meaning at the Great Recession, which was in 2008, the birth rates declined substantially. Now students who would be college age, there's just less students of college age graduating from high school. And this is going to affect universities throughout the nation for approximately 6 more years. And so universities across the nation are competing for the same pool of students. On top of this, we have the Great Resignation, we have inflation, we have political, social unrest. All of those things, I think, influence a student's decision to go to college, persistence and retention to finish the degree. There are a lot of challenges for students now that I know I certainly didn't have to approach. So,
okay, Brenna, what was your contributing factor for you going to college? What made you want to go to college?
Well, I didn't really have any plans after high school, so my mom and I, we went through everything, and I sent out a couple applications to colleges, and it was kind of just a deciding factor that since I don't have anything else, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna get my degree. My mom was very persistent on me getting my degree, and so that was a big thing. And I think it was genuinely my parents. Like, my parents were the ones who were like, "No, you're gonna go to college," and I was like, "Okay," because I had nothing else. So I was like, and I don't mind that. Like, I'm very grateful that they pushed me to do it, because now I'm in my last semester and I'm so excited to graduate. So yeah.
For you, Anthony, I have the same question. What was your contributing factor to going to college? Like, what made you want to go as well?
Same thing. My parents, they really wanted me to go and like further my education. They always wanted me to like succeed where they couldn't. So that was like my main pushing factor for going to college.
Thank you. And for Aaron, how can tuition be more affordable for lower income students? Is there any better ways you guys can make it in the future, you think?
Well, first of all, I think as a university, we are trying to remove any administrative roadblocks that would prohibit a student from even getting through the application process in itself, which, if any of you use the Cal State Apply application, it's tricky. If you don't know, if you're a first generation student, you have no one to go to necessarily in your family for guidance. And so I do think there are ways we need to be looking at not necessarily reducing tuition, but I think what it is providing benefits and scholarships and financial aid that is in the form of grants that you don't have to pay back for students who are from historically disadvantaged student populations. CSUN has one of the highest levels of financial aid that disbursement throughout for our students. So that says that we're very committed to that type of student success.
Cool. Thank you. Now we're going to show a video with Valerie Patterson. She's going to be talking about college influence.
College in itself is a little corrupt, in my opinion. This is my opinion. But so, I mean, it's not surprising that they're just kind of swindling a lot of younger kids out of money. Seems like like kids who don't really know what they want to do. You know, it has its, at the end of the day, it has its pros and its cons. It really does. Like you learn things, you maybe make connections in school, you maybe learn what you want to do. It's just a very expensive learning curve.
Britta, what did you think of Valerie's response to that question?
I mean, college has its faults, that's for sure. There have been plenty of days where I get frustrated and I'm like, college sucks, like it's a scam, like I get angry, but at the end of the day, like I I am happy that I chose to go to college. I hopefully it sets me up in the right place, but I understand where she's coming from because it does have a lot of faults because of how much it costs and how much you have to go through, and the fact that it takes 2 years just to get to your major is very frustrating. Because I remember when I first, it was my freshman year, I was like, oh, I was like, I can start classes in my major. No. GEs, and that was really frustrating because I just felt like I was wasting time. So I genuinely I understand where she's coming from.
What about you, Anthony? Do you have anything to say about Valerie's response?
Well, I do agree college can be like a little ridiculously expensive at some points. Like myself coming from a lower income, I couldn't really afford most semesters, tuition, books, and stuff. So I do get what she's saying by they're just swindling like young kids. But college as a whole is, I say, a unique experience that some people need to experience to like know what they want to do.
Aaron, do you think internships should be required for every major at all colleges?
That's a great question. And although I'm not on faculty and I'm not a part of the curriculum planning process, I do think internships that are mandatory are incredibly enriching for the co-curricular experience of a student. And if obviously you're doing an internship in your field, hopefully you're making contacts with individuals who can even mentor you, provide resources for you in the future. Some areas are harder to find mentorships or internships in. And so some of the humanities might struggle, but I do think that I wish an internship was a part of my degree. To be honest, I think it would have been very beneficial. I would have learned quite a bit more about my business, which when I was an undergraduate, I was a vocal performance major. And so to have some more knowledge about my field professionally would have been really valuable to me at that time. So yeah, I think that internships have proven to be very powerful and help students make connections.
Thank you. Now we're going to have another soundbite from Valerie about how high school pressures people to go into college.
They're always like, oh, you need to go to college. Oh, you need to do this. Like teachers and stuff in my high school. And then they have the college fairs and like we go to colleges to look at them and like they're like, you have to go to college. They really like instill that in your head. And you're just like about to turn 18. You don't know what the hell you want, but it's like all you know is, well, apparently I have to go to college.
Anthony, at your high school, did they really convince you, like, about joining colleges?
Yes and no. I mean, they did push like students to go and apply, and would bring up like different colleges, would like bring up like the different little like presentations of where you should go to the school and everything. But personally, the like college counselor didn't really push you if you didn't want to attend, because she would pay more attention to people who would attend, and then make sure they have like everything available to them. That way, like she has like the guaranteed students who are going.
What about you, Brenna? Did you ever get pressured in going to college from your high school?
We definitely got like told over and over again about applying and about applications, and they would constantly tell us about deadlines. But I don't think I was ever forced I also was willing, so I feel like that's why I would kind of feel different, because my counselor, she was very helpful with me, and we would go over everything. So no, I never felt forced, but they were definitely persistent on letting us know what was going on, especially for us seniors when we were graduating. They wanted to make sure that we were set up for when we graduated. So yeah.
Anthony, for you, I know you struggled, like you said, with financially with college. You said you had to drop out from college. Is that correct?
Yes. So what happened was my second year hit, and I did the Pierce Wright scholarship, which like they paid for your first year there. And I didn't perform academically to their standards, so my second year wasn't paid. So I would go to the financial aid office to try to get my FAFSA out, or see why it is in my account. And they told me that they have no records of my high school diplomas or any credentials, and they couldn't give me my money for the financial aid. So I kind of had a fight with them, but yeah, I couldn't pay for that year for the tuition, the books, and everything. So I dropped out because I was only working like maybe 18 hours max a week. So I was not making enough money to cover anything.
Do you have any regrets of not staying in college, Anthony?
Yeah, at times. Like I said, college as a whole is a good experience for some kids. I feel like they really grow from it and mature, and it's just you get to experience something that you've never experienced before with like all your math, like your when you do your majors, you go like do other classes, you do internships, you get all like the knowledge from people. I feel like that's a great thing, but so yeah, I kind of do feel like I missed out on some things.
Brenna, I know you drive very far for school. Is it worth the commute to you? Like, is college really worth that commute? Like the 3 hour drive that you do?
Well, I've commuted like my entire college career. So for me, it is when I'm able to get my schedule the way that I want it. Like right now, I'm only on campus 2 days out of the week, which is very helpful for me, especially on gas. But I do think it's worth it for me just because like I want to be on campus right now because it's my last semester. I'm working for Valley View, or I'm in Valley View, not working. I'm in Valley View, and so I'm on campus actually learning real skills that I will hopefully use once I graduate. And so I genuinely do want to be on campus right now. So right now it's definitely worth it. I will say I have driven to campus every single day this week, and that has not been fun. But I definitely have it has its ups and downs, but if I'm able to leave later in the day, then yeah, I would say it's worth it for me.
What was your biggest regret, though, in college, Brenna?
I wish I would have just started at a community college. I started at a 4 year. All I wanted to do was go to a 4 year when I was graduating high school. I kept telling my mom, I was like, I want to go straight to a 4 year. And she was like, why don't you just try community college? And I was like, no. And I went straight to a 4 year, had no idea what I was doing. I switched my major like 3 times. And then by the time I finally had enough units to transfer, I didn't know what I was totally doing still. And so I definitely wish I went to a community college first. I would have saved a lot of money, and I would have been able to figure out everything before transferring. But I also don't regret it at the same time because it helped me find my way to CSUN, and that I'm really grateful for because I originally went to Cal State San Marcos, and then I transferred to CSUN later. So it's definitely like I regret it, but it's also like it helped me because I was able to make my way to CSUN and actually find a passion, or my passion, which is reporting. So yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to have a clip about Bobby Corthius talking about the online learning during the pandemic.
And I was like, I'm not going to pay $1,200 to read a book, like, and try to teach myself. Like, I can just go online or read a book if I want to learn about it, you know?
Anthony, this is for you. Was there online learning like, was that a new normal for you, like when you were in school still, or were you not in school at all during that time?
Online learning was what's newer. Like there was definitely some like online classes that I tried to take during my time, but I couldn't take that. I couldn't stand them. I hated having to like you said, I just like look at a book and try to teach myself because I'm a very like in-person hands-on learner. So I really like the communication with the professor and be able to like go to them with any questions and then like explain it thoroughly. With this, it was kind of like, oh, here's my times. Try to message me then. If I get to you, I get to you.
Brenna, did you like the online learning during the last few years? Was it tough for you, or did you think it was better for your education?
It was definitely tough at times, but considering I have such a long commute, for me, it was actually more beneficial because I had a full load of classes. I think one semester I had 6 classes. So I would have been going to school a lot. So I was kind of grateful that it happened in a way because I was still able to get a lot of my work done. And I also, I understand that like it was really hard for a lot of people not being able to see everyone, and like that totally sucked, but I would be able to stay after class on Zoom meetings and talk to my professors however long they needed or however long I needed to. And it was helpful for me in a way. I miss being on campus, don't get me wrong. Like I love CSUN's campus, but it was more beneficial than it was a bad thing for me. That's for sure.
Aaron, do you have any thoughts on the online learning during the pandemic?
Well, for those students who finish their high school career online in, let's say, spring of 2020, and then, continued online at college, that is pretty substantial in a way that it's not the college experience we intend here, right? We at CSUN aren't necessarily an online university. We are about kind of the in-person co-curricular activities, the dynamic relationships you can have with your professors. Like Brenna said, that conversation you had in Zoom probably would have been in a classroom or in the hallway, right? And you miss that. Now as things are coming back and there are students on campus and there are faculty and staff on campus, it does feel a little bit more normal, but even as a professional, I can tell you Zoom fatigue was a real thing for me to be in meetings from literally 8:30 in the morning till 5:30 at night. And so it changed definitely my working profession. It made me incredibly empathetic to our students. And when they were tired of weren't volunteering as much as they used to, I understood exactly why, because I was just as kind of tired as they were. So I'm hoping we can come out of this with a better understanding for all students and faculty and staff of mental health issues, and that it creates a dynamic where we're more empathetic as a campus to each other, because this experience, we needed to give each other a lot of grace. And in general, I think the campus did a very good job of that.
Thank you guys for coming on the show. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry about my dog. He's
No, it's
really
okay.
annoying.
I love the dog. That was pretty awesome.
I'm like, he keeps just walking by. I'm like, okay, you do whatever.
Anthony, if you're ever interested in coming back to CSUN, please reach out to me, okay? I would definitely help to give you some guidance and love to be there for support for you to help you, okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you for watching On Point. We will be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
I found them at work, on a desk, laying out in the open. Copied them, shared them on a website. Now I'm facing up to 3 years in jail. It's scary. Who knows where it's going? I mean, who's gonna hire me? Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Thank you for watching On Point. You can follow us on social media at CSUN On Point. You can also hear us on KCSN 88.5 FM Sunday mornings at 5:30. You can watch us on LA 36 and Santa Clarita Valley Television. From all of us here at On Point, I'm Ruby Cordova.